the next generation of lifestyle awareness that will transform your life significantly. Hi, welcome to Living Wow Out Loud. I'm your host, Callie Ray, founder of the Living Wow Center and author of the book, 8 Lessons Lupus Taught Me from Surviving to Thriving with Autoimmune Diseases. Living Wow is a lifestyle of choice and intention that was born from the truth that, number one, your body is designed to heal if you give it the environment to do so. Number two, you don't need a label or permission to be the expert in your own body. And number three, more than 80% of all diseases can be prevented or reversed by lifestyle. Unfortunately, this isn't what we're taught in our standard American diet and lifestyle culture. This podcast is a voice of hope and community where you will learn how to live a life of thriving that honors and embraces those three truths. Though you are an individual, you are not alone, and you can thrive living wow too. So let's start at the very beginning. Autoimmune disease doesn't strike overnight. Although if you live with an autoimmune disease, you know it can feel like you were run over by a freight train overnight and you woke up wondering, what the hell just happened? Generally, when this happens, you run to the doctor because you feel sick. The doctor looks you over and sends you home with medicine based on your complaints and symptoms. Depending on how many times you've been to the doctor, the severity of your symptoms, or the competency of your doctor, labs may be ordered to support the medication recommendation and look a little deeper. When was the last time your doctor asked you about your diet, relationships, your work, education, finances, stress, exercise, or even self-care? Probably never, right? Crazy, because we all know that all of these things collectively add up to your health and they're impacting the dis-ease that you're seeking answers for. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about the it's all in your head philosophy that many will put on you because they can't find a physical reason for your incessant pain, rash, stomach pain, fatigue, weight gain, weight loss. Fill in your symptom, whatever your symptom that you're going to the doctor is. You absolutely are experiencing that symptom. Unfortunately, I've even known doctors that prescribe antidepressants or anti-anxiety meds when you come in with these complaints because they can't find a physical explanation. Let's just medicate it. You must be depressed. The questions that they should ask is why? What is the underlying cause of your symptom? With a whole lifestyle assessment with a look back period, more than yesterday, what if you were asked lifestyle questions that included that look back period? Like maybe a week, a month. When did your symptoms start? And not just when did they start, but what was happening in your life at that time? Again, all of those questions I asked earlier. What if you were prescribed good mood foods? What if you were prescribed to get outside in nature for an hour a day? What if you were prescribed to move your body doing your favorite activity every day? What if you were prescribed to spend in time person and surround yourself with the persons or person that makes you the happiest? What if you were prescribed to take a vacation and truly unplug from work, maybe even every 3 months? Would these prescriptions solve everything? Yeah, maybe not. Would they have toxic side effects and organ damage, drug interactions, and possibly death? Absolutely not. Would they cover up your symptoms and give you new symptoms, making it more difficult to get to the underlying cause of the disease? Nope. Of course, there are times when it makes sense to visit your doctor, but after 25 years in healthcare and 30 years of learning to understand my own body, you can bet I've learned a few things. I've learned that medicine is almost always toxic and misused. I've learned that medicine is almost always unnecessary. I've learned that everything we need to heal our bodies has been provided by nature, but we probably don't recognize it or know how to use it. I've learned that creating an environment to heal is up to me, not my doctor. And I've learned that I don't need permission to be the expert in my body, but I do need to learn how. So I want to start with the low hanging fruit. Just because you know doesn't mean you do it. We all know that we should be eating healthy food, exercising regularly, and sleeping well. The reality is that few of us actually do because life happens. The sad life, to be exact. The standard American diet and lifestyle is the underlying cause of most diseases, including autoimmune disease, and that's epidemic in our society. What if you decided to stop the sad and embrace a new life, a wow life? What if you ate good mood food? What if you started moving your body by dancing in the kitchen, listening to uplifting music while you prepared food that was delicious and nutritious? What if you sat down at the table and ate that good mood food with the people that matter most to you? What if you listened to a podcast or watched a video that inspired you or taught you something new instead of listening to the news or getting caught up in the drama? What if you journaled the wins and desires of the day before you went to bed? These are what I call the low hanging fruit because you already know what you should be doing. The trick is to stop shoulding on yourself and get into action. Just pick one. Start with today, not tomorrow. Action is the key. So pick up something that you can do and get a win. That win will lead to the next choice. Do it again and again and again. That's basic behavior change, right? Before you know it, you find yourself in a new intentional choice routine, and the guilt and shame of shoulding is behind you. I'll use good mood food for illustration because it's powerful, simple, and self reinforcing. Today, not tomorrow, today, instead of reaching for an energy drink or a sugary snack to pick you up, eat your favorite fruit, the whole fruit, not a canned, dried, or processed form of it. Maybe it's a crispy sweet apple, a juicy orange, an exotic pineapple or mango, maybe even a superfood of blueberries or pomegranate. It doesn't matter which fruit, your body will tell you the one that's best for you because you like it and it's available to you. The nutrient profile in fruit makes it good mood food for anyone, as it gives you a boost of glucose for energy, but metabolizes completely and steadily because of the whole food matrix. Your cells will thank you because of the vitamins, phytonutrients, minerals, hydration, and glucose that they need to replicate healthy cells. Your gut will thank you because you're supporting a healthy microbiome with prebiotic fiber and encouraging probiotic health and diversity. Your brain will thank you because you just released the chemicals of serotonin by feeding your microbiome a whole fiber rich food. Are you hesitant to try? Do you find yourself saying, but fruit is loaded with sugar? I've heard fructose is bad. Well, welcome to SAD. You've been victimized by the standard American diet of misinformation because it's far more profitable to addict you to processed health foods that are laden with fake sugar and pseudo ingredients while they manage your medical conditions with prescription medications. Have you ever tried to overeat whole foods? How many apples can you eat in a sitting? Whole apples. Have you ever tried to eat an entire bowl of blueberries? How about an entire pineapple? Nature tells us the right amount of foods to eat because, unlike processed foods, we are not physically able to overconsume whole foods. So, in addition to the benefits to our cells, gut, and brain that I mentioned earlier, we also have the added benefit of not having to count calories because your body will tell you how much is enough for you. So, that's it. Congratulations. You've just successfully completed an introduction to living wow. You've learned how to choose intentionally to support your body rather than suppress or mask what it's telling you. If you chose to participate in the low hanging fruit exercise, you even learned how to make a choice for good mood food that showers your system with all the goodies it needs in the amount it needs to give you the lift that supports a wow life rather than a sad life. Now do it again. As you're making those intentional choices, take note of how your body is changing. What feels good? What's the next choice? Best choice. Hey, if you find value here on the Living Wow Out Loud podcast, will you please share it with your friends and take a minute to rate it on the platform that you're listening on? That's how we live wow out loud. You know that more people need hope and they need the messages shared. And that's how we get recognized among all the noise. This is where you find your voice. Will you please share and subscribe and rate so that we can grow? If you're not sure or you need support, consider joining the Living Wow Challenge on the 1st to the 10th of each month at the Living Wow Center. The Living Wow Challenge is a 10-day experience with a menu full of good mood foods that support natural detoxification and healing of inflammation, which is common in every autoimmune disease. In 10 short days, you will feel the effects of less pain, more energy, and the momentum to embrace living wow in a sad world. You get recipes for each meal, assessments and objective measurements so you can judge where you are, where you want to go, supportive daily affirmations and daily word of scripture guidance, personal support, group coaching, and convenience of online access to fit your schedule. Living Wow is all about thriving, so you can bet the focus is on adding in so much amazing nutrition and content that the sad is crowded out. We don't believe in restrictions and rules, but rather focus on intention and education. As you're empowered with nutritional healing, you will recognize the ills of sad and naturally begin to recognize the choices that are all about wow and living your best life. Please bring your friends, bring your family, bring anyone you care an ounce about. Come and join the Living Wow Challenge to get a taste of wow. It's time for you to remember how good it feels to feel good. After my personal transformation from surviving to thriving with autoimmune diseases, I was completely astounded that the experience was not what I expected it to be. Instead of resenting my body and being forever trapped with a legacy of bad genes, as I had believed would be my fate, I looked and felt 20 years younger. I had dropped weight that had plagued me for decades, eliminated chronic pain that no doctor, therapy, or medicine could relieve, and found energy that I hadn't had since I was 16 years old. Because this is not what I expected, and because I wish someone would have told me that there is another way than sad, I wrote the book, 8 Lessons Lupus Taught Me from Surviving to Thriving with Autoimmune Diseases. As I began to share the book and the message of change your story, Living Wow was born. After years of continuing to learn and study how and why lifestyle has such an impact on disease and the world being torn apart by a global pandemic, I can't stand by any longer keeping it to myself. You have to understand that the power is in your hands. The power is in your body. The power is in your lifestyle. The Living Wow Center is a holistic wellness practice that utilizes the framework of the Living Wow lifestyle to identify system failures or maintenance needs. Whether you just need a tune up or a complete systems overhaul, we support you as an individual to get back out on the journey and living wow. We will work with you to determine levels of function, needs, tools, resources, and or providers that may be best equipped to guide you as you step out of the negative health cycle and turn it into a positive health cycle. The Living Wow Center offers a revolutionary, comprehensive approach to healing, coaching, and support that is necessary in our complex, sad world. Schedule your complimentary consultation today to see how Living Wow can support you. Wow, you just finished another episode of Living Wow Out Loud. I hope you leave today empowered to live your best life and thrive. If you're ready to jump in and learn a little bit more about Living Wow, come check out the Living Wow Center. That's LIVINGWOWCENTER.com. And maybe consider joining our next Living Wow Challenge. We run the 1st to the 10th of every single month. See you soon. Hey, if you find value here on the Living Wow Out Loud podcast, will you please share it with your friends and take a minute to rate it on the platform that you're listening on? That's how we live wow out loud. You know that more people need hope and they need the messages shared. And that's how we get recognized among all the noise. This is where you find your voice. Will you please share and subscribe and rate so that we can grow?